Alright everybody, how are we doing today? So this will be the last bit of news for today that is on the national level before I go back to the international level, which is my main coverage. This being from Ruptly, which is a verified source, so, you know, shove it. Winning or losing, MSM can't decide if Putin is all-powerful or failing miserably. For those of you who don't know, MSM means mainstream media. So yes, is Putin all-powerful, the ultimate enemy, the conspirator, blah blah blah, or is he just failing miserably? Seems like the mainstream media can't make up their mind. So the article proceeds, mainstream media reporting on Russia is not exactly known for its nuance, and depending on who you ask, on any given day, the massive Eurasian state may be about to crumble to a pile of dust, or take over the world. In this black and white universe, Russian President Vladimir Putin is either an omnipresent force, seamlessly controlling the workings of other nations with a horde of top-class hackers and spies by his side, or a man on the verge of defeat who can't even manage to control the goings-on in Moscow, let alone anywhere else. Well, which is it? They can't seem to make up their minds. This choppy, changey phenomenon was recently highlighted in a series of tweets comparing various headlines pointing to Putin's alleged wins and losses. So here are some tweets. It says, Putin is losing everything. On one hand, we see Vladimir Putin is losing Russia's Far East. Op-ed. The Kremlin has a problem in the Far East it can't solve by its customary methods. And another one says, Putin risks losing Moscow. Russia's revitalized pro-democracy movement is increasingly gaining ground in the Russian capital. And then finally, this is from BBC Newsnight. They say our Moscow correspondent Sarah Rainsford traveled east to Irkutsk in Siberia to test the Mood 5 time zones from Russia's capital. So yeah, there's a narrative there of saying that, you know, he's losing everything. But here's another one where it says Putin is winning everything. Interesting how that works, isn't it? Did Putin win the EU elections? European populists have proclaimed victory at the EU vote. Should the Kremlin rejoice? Putin is winning, and he knows it. From Brexit to NATO and the shutdown, Putin is winning so much he might get tired of winning. When while these might be from some divergent news sources, I'll admit, these were from various different newsletters, posted onto Twitter by various people. But the question still needs to be asked. Which one is it? Oh, I get it now. I know what's going on. He's so busy manipulating other countries' elections that he can't even take care of his own country, right? Is that what you're saying? Is that what I'm seeing? Or is he just a really bad, questionable leader, and that there never was any Russian hacking to begin with? Why have we never seen any physical evidence that Russiagate ever took place? How come? Very, very curious. Russiagate is a left-wing conspiracy, plain and simple. Anyway, the article goes on to say, Putin is winning so much he might get tired of winning, informs one Washington Post headline from January. Did Putin win the U.S. elections? Asked Al Jazeera in May. These more recent stories are reminiscent of the aftermath of the 2016 U.S. presidential election, when hysterical media... Why did I put a P in there? Yeah. Were warning that Putin himself had won the U.S. election. It's not all good news for the Russian president, however. While Western journalists tell tales of his epic winning abilities, abroad they believe he is less capable of winning at home, where he is apparently losing everything from Moscow to Vladivostok. This is a tweet from someone in Russian. There's some Cyrillic here. Basically, according to Western media, Putin has lost all of Russia, but has won Europe and the USA. Indeed, there seems to be a bit of an issue there. But Putin is losing Russia's Far East, warns an op-ed in the Moscow Times. Is Putin losing his grip on Siberia? Queries BBC Newsnight. Readers are required to engage in some strenuous mental gymnastics to believe that Moscow has its poisonous tentacles spread across every corner of the world, influencing elections here, there, and everywhere, while at the same time back home Putin has no control over anything whatsoever. What gives? Great question. Journalist Brian MacDonald has written about the phenomenon before coining the term Russophrenia, a condition where the sufferer believes Russia is both about to collapse and take over the world. It has certainly become a common trend. In 2008, The Guardian warned Russia was close to economic collapse, while way back in 2001, The Atlantic declared Russia is finished. The same publications, among many others, have since scaremongered endlessly about the grave threat from a resurgent Russia, which, as it turned out, did not collapse at all. Journalist Kit Klarenberg dubbed the paradox Schrodinger's Russia, and described the endless contradictions of this Western view in which Russia is simultaneously collapsing, dying, and impoverished, and rising, dangerous, and ever richer. Yeah, it does seem very, very odd. These people are suffering from insane levels of cognitive dissonance. And here's the tweet itself from Kit Klarenberg. It says, "Never get tired of Schrodinger's Russia. The collapsing, dying, impoverished, rising, dangerous, ever richer power with its omnipotent, omniscient, completely inept security services with an all-encompassing cult of personality for the leader no one actually likes. These two Russias can't both exist at the same time, can they? Missed in all the dramatic pronouncements is the fact that reality is often a bit less dramatic and usually rests somewhere in the middle ground." Oh, I think there's a way that two Russias can exist. One is from this universe, and the other is from a mirror universe, and they're intersecting at various points in time. That's about as believable as Russiagate. That right there is about as believable as Russiagate. No, I take it back. That's more believable than Russiagate. That there could be two Russias from different universes cohabiting the same Russia at the same time. That is actually more believable than Russiagate. I am not even kidding you right now. I will put a link in the description to the Twitter pages for the failing and succeeding Russia all at once. Shout out to Brian MacDonald. You seem like a pretty cool guy. Like you. I like you. So I'll give you the credit for having that information on hand. So yeah. I think Russiagate is thoroughly defeated, and internet journalists and video makers like myself are going to have to continually beat the dead horse into the ground until someone finally gets it. Anyway, peace!